Okay, we are in Austin, Texas, and maybe the cutest photography and painting studio that I could actually imagine. We have Ashleigh Amoroso on the podcast today. I am so grateful that you gave us your time because I'm getting ready to move out of Austin, Texas next week, and we made time to make this happen. But Ashleigh, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
So you are a photographer. Is food styling a part of your job description, or would you say you are just like pure photographer?
Food styling used to be more a part of what I do,
Okay.
but now it's really branched out into everyone has their own department, their own role, and food styling is very much its own thing.
Yes.
So I'm really just focused on the photography now.
Okay, awesome. So you've had stuff with Joanna Gaines, I saw, Target.
Mm-hmm.
What are some other like recognizable names that people might have seen your stuff right before we even dive in?
I've worked with Delta. I've worked with Patron. I've worked with Tegan Gerard of Halfbaked Harvest, Home Chef. Gosh, I've worked on about 11 cookbooks now.
11.
So, yeah.
Okay. Do you cook yourself?
I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do not.
You
At all.
don't?
No. I can actually make food look kind of good. It will not always taste great, but like if you need a margarita and if you need a cheese board, I'm your girl.
Oh, that's a skill.
Thank you.
A skill.
That's as far as my cooking skills really go. I would love to know about the studio that we're in right now. How long have you had it?
I've been here for about 4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a beautiful, inspiring space. And actually, now that I've been here for 4 years, I'm sort of like doing some renovating to change it up because it's existed in its current form in a lot of photographs. And I feel like it's pretty recognizable. So I'm doing some stuff to make some changes to kind of freshen it up.
Okay. Yeah. So we have the same business coach. BCA is what I have been lovingly calling her. And so we were able to meet, was it 2 months ago now?
Why do you call her BCA?
Oh, business coach Amy.
Oh, business coach Amy. I love that.
And I'm hoping that that's going to catch on with everybody.
I love it.
But we got to sit across from each other when we were at dinner. And then we were one over.
Yeah.
But you were the first girl that I met after I walked into the restaurant. Yeah. And because I was kind of nervous because I didn't know anybody.
I know.
I knew Olivia, but I hadn't met the other girls. And immediately when I met you, I was like, I feel so much better. Just like being around you, just like immediately felt calmed. And then we were able to kind of chat again at our mutual friend Olivia's baby shower.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, Ashleigh's amazing. She has to come on the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
But you told me a little bit about how you started to get into photography in the first place. Did you always know that photography was what you wanted to do?
No, not at all.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
Not at all. I think now I can think back and like see signs of that stuff, but it was a long journey to get here.
Okay.
It was a long journey of like sort of dismantling societal beliefs of what success or a path needed to look like.
Yeah.
And that took me a really long time because I was raised, in a family where like corporate, success is really what is celebrated. Mm-hmm. And so kind of having to rethink that and have a different vision really took me out of my comfort zone in that, And so it took me a long time to really kind of commit to it. I was doing photography in college. I was apprenticing with an incredible photographer and
apprenticing.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know. It's so funny because if she hears this, she'll probably like laugh at that idea because it was just very much like, can I come with you? And I learned so much from her. But I was doing that and I loved it and I felt so alive by it. And then I moved after school. I moved to Austin. I knew I wanted to do it, but I didn't really know what that looked like. I didn't really know how to run a business, which is even more important than the creative part.
Yeah.
Way more important. And so I went and worked at a corporate job. I worked at Apple. They have a big corporate office here. And I worked there for a few years and it helped me so much.
Wow.
In just learning how to communicate internally with our business partners, how to set expectations, how to communicate well. Just the other side of running a business and how to kind of set things up for success, Yeah. So I did that for a few years and then I felt the pull again and left. And here we are 12 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you started apprenticing with that photographer before this all sort of got started, had you ever picked up a camera before that?
Yes, but not in like a serious way.
Okay.
I mean, I had envisioned what it would be like to be a really good photographer, but I I hadn't like really put that into practice until then. Yeah.
Interesting. Like, did you always have an eye for that growing up?
I think yes. I think I did now because like what I'm realizing now that I love more than anything is I just love to make things beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it feels good.
Yeah.
You know, and like being in control of your space and your environment really does impact so much about how you move through your day, how people move around you, how everyone feels. And so it really kind of started with that. Like I relate so much to your cheese board thing because like I literally love nothing more than make a cheese board because it's beautiful, it's easy, it's a low lift, and everyone loves it.
Yeah.
You know? So
it's a memorable talking point.
Yeah.
Okay, so Josh's dad.
Yeah.
So to everybody else that's just listening, my mom, again, is with me and she's a great conversationalist and realized talking to Ashleigh before we got started, she went to a small high school in Baton Rouge with my first cousin, Josh.
Amazing.
And so his dad is, I mean, I guess you would call him an artist, but it's more a woodworking artist.
Okay, amazing.
And so he'll take old trees in, I think out of Louisiana, like he'll go and like actually go grab them himself and turn them into something really cool, whether it's like a wooden piece of art or he used to do bowls. But then he said that was like too wasteful with the wood. So he makes these like really beautiful pieces of art out of wood.
Okay.
But what's interesting is because my mom has very soft colors that she decorates in her home, but she's always able to find a piece of Mitch's artwork. And it is such a great talking point.
Yeah.
So anytime somebody comes in, like that's kind of what they remember because it is something that it stands out in a good way, but it makes it really beautiful. It lifts the room and it's what people talk about after they leave.
Yeah, it's a connector.
Yes.
I mean, exactly.
Life is kind of all in the details, aesthetically and relationally.
Yes. For sure.
Okay, I would love to talk about when you left. You said you were working at Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your last day at Apple and like letting the team know that you were leaving to start your full-time photography business.
Oh my gosh. I had worked my way up like quickly within the company. And I had worked myself to a position where I had an incredible boss who was a very supportive person to guide you like in whatever roles that you want to explore, whether that be in the company or outside.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember talking to him about like, you know, hey, I think I want to try this thing. And I remember him telling me like that he was a composer before he worked there.
Like a music composer?
A music composer.
Cool.
And he talked about, it wasn't really regret, but it was just like, what if? You know, what if I had explored this thing? What would that have looked like? And he was like, go, do it, you know?
Wow.
And he was like, if it doesn't work out, call me, you know?
Yeah.
And so that felt like such a, I'm out of here, you know? Like that felt like such a blessing. I was barely 30, you know? So it felt like a time that I really needed to do it too was before I had my daughter.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, okay, well, if I'm going to do it,
now is the time.
I better go now. And everyone was really kind about it.
Did you have any side clients at first before you left your job?
Yes. Okay. But like with photography, it's so interesting because it's not like the majority of the clients I work with are not like really on a retainer or anything.
Retainer client, yeah.
So it's kind of one-off stuff. So it really is a leap of faith, you know? I mean, it's like when people need photos and who knows when that might be. So, and that was such a good learning process in itself to like figure out how to manage slow seasons and how that changes and also make yourself needed by the same people by creating an experience for them where they're like, oh, well, obviously I'm going to go back to this person because they made this so easy and they're so dependable and all that.
Are there some small ways that you can tangibly share out on how you do that?
Detail. Yeah. One part of my business is it's grown into an education side. So I host a 6-month-long, really intensive mentorship for kind of upcoming commercial photographers.
So smart.
And then I have a community that's like a smaller like entry where it's like a group chat with commercial photographers. Everyone bring their problems, bring their goals, bring their questions, you know, anything. And that's like one of the things that I share with them because that was something that I really took a long time to figure out for myself. Like, how do you stand out in this very saturated world?
Yeah.
And some of the things that I do are underpromise and overdeliver, just literally the easiest way to delight anyone.
Yep.
And it makes you memorable because I find that a lot of people in this industry don't do that. And there's always an opportunity to do something like that. That's a really easy one. And then I set deadlines that I know I can meet early
Yeah.
for the client.
That's so smart.
And it's literally, I mean, just like 2 days early, and they're just so stoked, you know? Little tiny things,
Yeah.
you know? And then small gifts at the end of the year. You know, if something happens in the moment at our shoot and I see something that's like really special that they like. But yeah, just noticing like little opportunities for things that people think are special.
Yeah.
You know, and then I have a little notes thing in my phone. Like, don't forget this person loves miniature pieces of pottery or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
I love
something
that.
really special that I can send them at the end of the year.
Yeah.
To sort of stay on their mind when we're not working together.
Yeah, that's actually really smart. I always tell people when they are starting a podcast, if you can start to have people, it's kind of like they're on like their own inside language. If they start to speak like you, even when they're not listening to you, you remain top of mind to them.
Yes.
And so then they feel really connected to you. So I can see, you know, the small things like that at the end of the year. If you do give them a piece of pottery, it's so meaningful, but you're still top of mind when they're not working with you.
Exactly.
That's so smart.
Personal.
And it's personal. Yeah. And heartfelt. Hey guys, Elizabeth here. I'm popping in really quickly because if you have ever wanted to start your own podcast, but you're lacking the time, direction, clarity, and maybe industry knowledge on what to do next, you're in the right place at the right time. I'm bringing back my 8-week podcast creation cohort to take your podcast from idea to reality. Applications to the cohort will officially be live on Monday, September 8th, but I'm offering first dibs on these limited slots to my podcast listeners only. This cohort is a bespoke 8-week journey, and it's your invitation to define your vision, amplify your voice, and create something meaningful through live guided sessions, 5 learning modules, customizable resources, and personalized feedback. I've been producing podcasts that have launched into the top charts for 6 years now, and I'm bringing this proprietary framework that I complete with my one-on-one clients into an exclusive group setting. And as an additional thank you for podcast listeners, I'm offering an exclusive code to enter into your application submission for a free 40-minute one-on-one session with me that will automatically be applied once you're officially signed into the program. So be sure to include code NAPKIN, NAPKIN, within your application submission today. Head to elizabethevans.co/podcast cohort or head over to the link in the episode notes and find your way over to the podcast cohort link at the top of that landing page to submit your application. Your podcast has lived in your imagination for far too long, so let's bring it to life together. Head to elizabethevans.co/podcast cohort today. Tell me a little bit more about this membership education side of things. What's interesting about both you and Eileen is you're as creative as you are business minded. And I feel like that's really hard to find that kind of combination.
I'm a lot of right brain and a lot of left brain.
Interesting.
And the organization part of my mind, you know, that like type A part really plays a large role in like being successful in that. But the education side of the business is something I'm like so excited to really focus on and grow in the coming years, because when I was first starting with this, you know, it was like back in the days of Instagram was new, the whole industry was shifting into a different place. You know, it used to be like you had to live in New York or LA, you had to have an agent, you know, like the way of doing things in the last 10 years has completely changed.
Yeah.
You know, now photographers can have direct relationships with brands. You can have direct relationships with, you know, celebrities who you were recommended to, and then they say, I want to work with you, you know? So it opened up a whole new world of building relationships and also just navigating this in a way where I realized like I have to pay a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I have to be really intentional about having a lot of humility, having a lot of vulnerability, letting fear just sit in me and sit with it. You know what I mean? Like letting that stuff happen. And I learned so much because this industry can feel very isolating because you are working alone the majority of the time. So I started the education side, the community and the mentorship, because I learned so much. And if I would have learned what I learned in 10 years, in 3 years, in 1 year, I mean, it would have propelled
Just
me even further.
time.
And also, like, I feel super passionate about, you know, the biggest driver behind the education part is that because this industry feels so gatekeepy and siloed, what I actually feel is different about how to approach that industry. I actually feel like if we are all communicating, if we're setting industry standards, if we don't treat each other as competition, if we treat each other as allies, we're going to raise the bottom line. We're going to grow together. We're going to make this industry more valuable because we're working together.
And more fun.
Yeah, for sure.
You said that something about like sitting in the fear. Do you still get scared before things? Like,
Yeah,
do you feel fear?
Oh my God, I'm scared every day.
So I was interviewing business coach Amy just the other day, and she said, I don't feel fear. And I
Of
said,
course she does. She's so amazing.
I know. And I was like, are you one of one? I said, I think that's the emotion I feel the most.
Really?
Yeah. Because it does feel like, especially with the podcast industry changing as much as it is, similar to photography, it's like there's always something to, one, learn, and then two, be able to execute on more quickly than somebody else.
Yeah.
So I obviously have my own podcast, but doing it for clients, it's just like another level of, okay, well, Spotify updated this. Now analytics are doing this. Now we're going to video. And it's like, there isn't really this complacent mindset at any given time. So you feel like you're always learning, you're always putting yourself in the scary situation. Trusting myself has come slowly for me, but it was really huge for me I realized I needed to be more of the authority in the room. I didn't want to take up space, especially if it was somebody else that was in front of the camera. But I learned about like year 2 or 3, like, oh, they're actually looking to me for direction. It's okay to take up some space in a room.
Yes.
But that took me a little bit of time because I was fearful of a lot of things, or making the wrong step, or choosing the wrong thing. And Amy always says, like, there is no right or wrong decision. You make a decision and then you make it right.
Yes.
And that has been really helpful for me.
Yeah. She's incredible. You're touching on so many things that are like deeply ingrained in me too. I mean, like, taking up space in a room. I mean, this is like also, this is a female thing. This is a generational thing for our age. You know, like, I feel like everyone that's my age, that's a female, whether entrepreneur, mom, whatever you're doing, we're all learning how to like take ownership of our space.
Yeah.
You know, use our voice, like do these things. And one thing that I tell myself all the time, and that I tell the people in the education community that I've learned, is that there is no right way. Just like what Amy said, I used to think like, oh, I can't exist in this space because I don't know the way that it's done.
Yes.
I don't know the right way. But what I've come to realize is everyone does this different, and I can actually choose what it looks like. And what I've done is created a system that no one else does do.
Yes.
And that's what makes it great. You know, so there's so much freedom when you start to lean back into your intuition, lean back into trusting yourself, and really, I mean, and it's funny because this is the challenge for our age group. You have to really spend time working on that and cultivating it and listening to yourself and quieting the noise, because there's a lot of noise right now to really find that in yourself.
Yeah. No, I totally resonate with that. And I think that is I'll use the example, and I think this is okay to say on the mic, but I produced a show for an Amazon exclusive podcast. So Amazon hired me to produce out something. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to be on the other side of working with Amazon. All of these things that I, quote, don't know, I'll now know by working with such a big name. And it was a great experience. But what it taught me was, like, I had everything I needed before that project even started. There was no secret guide or secret framework that I didn't know that I was going to learn from somebody else. Like, in that moment, it did show me, one, I know way more than I thought I did. And two, with the amount of reps and experience that I have, I can also create my own framework and my own guidebook that I can help others to do. And then I always tell people, like, I'm going to teach you the rules, but I'm also going to teach you how to break them. Like, once you know them, then you can break them, and then you can create your own frameworks.
Yes.
But I have learned, and this was very hard for my Enneagram 5 brain to learn, like, there is not one way to do this. Like, I loved school growing up, so I liked math tests and classes, and like I would get a 100, then I would get an A, then you just move on.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is not that. There is no guidebook, and there is no like class to graduate from. And so I do hope that people take that away from today of, like, if you are too afraid to start on something because you think that there's something else that you need, you don't. Like, you can figure it out, and you can keep going, and you can pivot if it's not what you want it to be.
Yeah.
But there is not this like secret knowledge that other people have that you don't. So I love that you've experienced that and kind of come on the other side of that too.
Yeah. I mean, I tell people all the time, like, about this journey, like, my approach has been to build the plane as I'm flying it.
Yes.
You know, like, that's legitimately it. And I think a lot of people are really attached to putting out something perfect. Yes. I think you always have time to continue to pivot and be resourceful and change and update and reinvent.
I would love to talk about the early years of your photography business. After you left Apple, who were your clients back then that you were starting to photograph? Was it food back then, or was it more bridal? Was it? lifestyle?
I knew I never really wanted to do weddings, so I never really kind of like
Seems stressful.
explored that world. I knew it wasn't the lifestyle that I wanted.
Okay.
So the things that I was working on were like brands, you know, and I was literally like reaching out to brands on Instagram being like, do you need photos? You know, like, here's this idea I have.
So you're pitching over ideas even in the DMs.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Cool. Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
I would just like, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do people do this? I don't know. I'll just try it, you know? And it worked. Like, it worked a lot, you know? I don't know that I would recommend that approach now. Times have changed, but I definitely wouldn't not recommend it completely.
Yeah.
So, but I just sort of took anything and everything that felt inspiring to me. And I was just trying to really build a solid body of work that I could then use to kind of propel other goals. I had some really lucky breaks too. This was in the early days of Instagram. Somehow I was posting my work, Instagram featured me, and then, you know, the followers grew, and that was amazing. That was so powerful because then people started contacting me.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was starting a food blog here in Austin, and this is before I was even doing food stuff or even considered it. And she was like, "Hey, you do photography? Can you come try food?" And so we went to, which are now some of the most iconic restaurants and chefs in town, Uchi with Tyson Cole. We shot Second Bar and Kitchen with David Bull. We worked with Paul Key. We worked with these great things. And I just remember being in those, you know, when it started to shift, the niche started to make sense to me that it was food. I remember how I felt in those rooms. And I'm like, these are the most amazing people I have ever met. They're so inspiring. They're so artistic. They're so incredible. Like, this is the room I want to always be in, you know? And so it sort of shifted into food that way. I mean, I didn't really know anything about food.
Yeah.
I can't even say I was really a great cook. You know, then I just knew something was like lighting up inside of me.
Is there one word that you could use to describe that feeling that when you identified it, of being in there, of this is what I want to continue to capture?
Energy.
Interesting. Okay.
There was, I mean, like, I literally felt like I could have run 30 miles. You know what I mean? Like, there was just such a like palpable feeling in my body.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is where I want to be. Like, I'm alive here.
Yeah. And I love that you got into photography and then you found your niche where you felt the most energized, because I do think people, like we were kind of calling back to our last segment of, I think people try to figure it out before they do it.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have figured this out if you hadn't started in photography.
Right.
The momentum begets momentum, and you start to figure out more clarity after you take action on it.
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah.
Were you nervous at first going into these restaurants and food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I doing here?
Is there something that you do to overcome that mentally or emotionally, or do you just like show up and run with it?
I have to befriend my fear. I mean, and I do this all the time. I know you're here. I feel you next to me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for reminding me how to feel things. We're going to do this.
Wow.
You know?
Okay. So you speak to it.
Yeah.
Like it's a friend. Wait, I love that.
I do.
Because I feel like a lot of times my default is just like denial. And so sometimes when you try to deny even fear, it'll creep up with you a little bit later on at some point in time, and probably sideways in a time where you're like, I thought I was fine. And it's like, oh, wait, 3 weeks ago, I felt this and I'm not giving myself space to do this until now. But
yeah,
I love that you speak to it and acknowledge it. And fear is just an indicator that we probably care about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot of positives to it too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a superpower. Honestly, it's like something that we should pay attention to.
Okay. So I know that you've worked with Joanna Gaines before, and I just love her magazine.
Of course.
I think did you work on more TV stuff with her?
Yeah, I've done so the show Magnolia Table.
Yeah.
So I do the stills for the show. So I shoot all the food. I do the key art for HBO. So anything you see promoting the show is all my work.
I didn't know that. What goes into prepping for something like that?
Befriending the fear.
Yeah. Step one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think with this job particularly, what helped me is like, this was the first job I had that was in tandem with a film set.
Yeah.
So typically the work that I do is all stills. So it's like I'm the leader on the set and everyone's like looking to me. This was not that at all. Okay. This is like a film crew of like 30 people. So what I did to prepare for it was I just went in like so observant I knew I was going to learn so much. I knew I was going to be uncomfortable. And I learned on day one who everyone was and what everyone's role was.
Okay.
And I really paid attention to what everyone was doing, where they were standing, how, because no one really they're like, here's your job. Go here. It's Joanna Gaines. I'm like, oh my God,
Cool.
Also, I had this really funny story. Literally the first day, oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
Yes.
The first day, I wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to drive to Waco, and my eye is swollen shut. Oh my God.
Okay, Ashleigh, we are soul sisters. This is something that we had growing up too before big days. And like, I don't know, we might take this out. We used to call it the Goonie eye because he looked like the guy from the Goonies.
I was totally, what's his name? Sloth or what's his name?
Something like that.
Yes.
I don't even know. We just call him the guy with like the Goonie eye because like, I don't know why. I don't know if it's a stress thing.
Well, actually, there was a very particular reason that this happened to me, but maybe it was also a stress response. But I called the producer who hired me and I was like, I am coming. Like literally nothing will stop me from this job, but I need to just make a little quick stop at the ER. So
befriend the fear, go to the ER, go to the shoot.
Yeah.
Got
so
it.
I was like, here's what we're going to do. So I go to the ER and I'm like, fix it. Like, oh my God, help me. And there was a piece of glass in my eye, a tiny shard of glass in my eye.
Did you feel it?
No, but it was like something was messed up.
Yeah.
So they pulled the piece of glass out of my eye and I was like, I gotta go. I gotta drive to Waco right now. I'm late. They put a pirate patch on my eye. Okay. Literally the first time meeting Joanna Gaines.
No.
I show up and I'm like pulling my hair in front of my face. I have an eye patch on.
Angsty.
Oh my God, I was dying. I was like, hi, Ashleigh.
I'm a photographer, but I only have one eye.
I'm a one-eyed photographer. Oh my God. It's so ridiculous. It was absurd. Anyways, it went great. When I went to deliver the photos, I knew they were beautiful. I was really proud of them. And I ended the email with, imagine what I can do with 2 eyes.
Yes. And then they hired you back since.
Oh yeah, for years. I've been working with them for 5 years.
You got to have a sense of humor sometimes. Actually, that's
crazy.
Wait, do we know how it got in there in the first place?
No idea. Literally no idea.
Okay.
Flipped in the wind. I have no idea. Literally no idea.
So Santa Ana wins. Holiday call back. Where's Jack Black? Okay, so besides having to go to the ER and get an eye patch, is everything when you are on these shoots already pretty set up and styled for the film aspect of it, and you're taking the stills?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I get to carve out kind of my own little time for the stills.
Okay. Awesome.
And I have a great team, a food stylist, a prop stylist, like everybody who's there to help make it beautiful and run quickly.
Okay. A couple photography tangibles in general. One, is there something that we should know about lighting before we're taking a picture, even if it's just with our iPhones, that makes for like a really pretty photo?
If you're shooting like a small scene, food or something, anywhere like right next to a window. I mean, like you can see in here right now. I mean, the window light is king.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And in this building, one of the reasons why it's so special is this is north-south facing light.
Interesting.
Which is interesting because it's never really east-west. So it's not like the hard light that's coming through. So it's kind of this even tone all day.
Okay. That's so nice.
Yeah. Okay. So it's easy to control, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we want some of the natural light facing our faces, but not maybe too harsh.
Exactly.
Okay.
You want it kind of that diffused, not the really harsh one to, you don't want to blow out your highlights. Yeah. Essentially, whenever you see where you lose texture or definition, that means the light's a little too hard.
Okay. And then if we wanted to just like go out to dinner and like take a really pretty picture of our meal, how can we best like food style if we are at Uchi and want our sushi to look pretty?
Oh, I love this. Okay, so at our dinner with Amy.
Yes.
Did you see Alex was doing this? Okay, so Alex Rychek, she's also, what are we calling it? BCA students? She's also a BCA student. She is she owns a PR company here in Austin, and it's specific to food. She's brilliant, wonderful, amazing person. But she does this a lot. I mean, this is part of her job. She goes to these restaurants and she has to like shoot the food. So what I noticed about her process that I thought was really smart, because I don't actually really shoot like this, is she has this tiny little flashlight that she uses and then she'll film around it. So she was like holding my phone.
Did she come with a flashlight or did she use somebody else's phone?
She used my phone as the flashlight and then she videoed it so that it wasn't like directly over. You could sort of angle it or move it around.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I always feel like I'm trying to take cute pictures of food, because I don't want to be in like every one of my Instagram stories to like, I want to show like a restaurant or something. And it's like, that does not look as pretty as it does in real life.
I know. It's hard. It's hard. I actually think like trend-wise, it actually looks pretty good right now to kind of do that like hard flash light.
Yeah.
So I would actually encourage you to maybe explore just with your iPhone flash, because right now I feel like that's sort of like on trend looking.
That camera that Olivia had at her shower, did you guys take one with that camera?
That's a great little tiny versatile camera with a really good flash.
Yes, it's very flashed and not necessarily blown out, but like it does kind of like, it almost feels like it photoshops you somehow.
Yeah.
But
that little flash is powerful. I want to say it was like a Canon G-Shot or something like that.
Yeah. It's like sold out everywhere now, like triple over asking, but it does make you look good.
We know why.
And then for styling for something like that, do you have any tips on whether it's like putting something in threes together or like just things that make it look more like a finished product in the photo?
Yeah, that's a great one. You know, this is something I've actually had to work backwards to understand how to tell people, because it's something that feels really like intuitive to me. So I've had to sort of figure out like, yes, threes is actually the answer. Odd numbers is the answer.
Okay. Odd numbers.
Odd numbers. And then like, for example, if you're styling like a cheese board, a balance in different colors.
Okay.
You know, often I find that if what I'm putting on the cheese board, if there's not really some sort of like green element to it, I'll go outside and grab some herbs from the garden and just throw fresh herbs on there.
Yeah.
Fresh herbs always make everything better, and edible flowers.
It's so true. Because my mom will try to put together a cheese board, and obviously we don't live in the same place, but she'll like take a picture or video it or FaceTime me, and she's like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, one, height difference. Like get you like a little jam of like honey or like a jar or something. They'll give you a little height, and then just throw as many herbs on there as possible.
Yes, you are an expert. You can text me too if you need help.
Yes, she'll be even better. Yes. I do feel like you guys might be best friends after
I think so too. I'm like, where's your purse from? Your shoes are so cute.
It was really funny when I told her herbs. One time though, she was plating something for, I don't know if it was like the Bible study girls were coming over, and she was putting chicken salad out, but she put like a whole romaine lettuce, like almost salad, and then put everything. And I was like, this is taking greens to another level just for the photo shoot situation. It looked amazing, but that is old school.
Sounds beautiful though.
Yes.
Romaine lettuce is beautiful.
Yes. That felt like very colonial Virginia, that kind of thing. But I was just laughing. I was like, wouldn't have thought of that. Great call, but totally not what I meant with the herbs. Oh my gosh. These are all really good tips, because I know for me, well, I'll ask you this too. Do you ever do people styling as well? Because I know you've done Olivia's cookbooks before.
Yeah. So a lot of what I shoot actually, I would say, has more of a lifestyle element to it. So it's like, you know, for example, the work with Joanna or Olivia, it's them as the brand and their food.
Yeah.
So I have a particular specialty of being able to photograph people well and food.
Yeah.
And so I'll say the majority of the work that I've done in the last couple of years has really actually pulled from that strength, because like these cookbooks and stuff that I'm working on, you have to show the author really beautifully, and you have to be really good at that, and you have to be really good at the food. And I genuinely love doing that kind of work, because I really like to connect with the person about what they're creating. And I mean, like, you know, now Olivia, she's just the most genuine, kind, talented, brilliant, you know, human who I've gotten to know. And then I'm also a fan of what she does and what she makes, and, you know, how she runs her business. And so I think that, yes, there is an element of styling when it comes to the people, but really actually the biggest and best thing that you can do when you're styling or trying to shoot people is to connect with them.
Okay.
Because you can tell.
Put them at ease.
In the photo. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell if they're comfortable. You can tell if they're like wincing through it, or if their body is just even the slightest bit tense. You know, you have to connect with them. And I have to do this, you know, when I work with celebrities or something now, I have to do it so fast, you know, because like their schedules or whatever. So it's like you really have to be adaptable and find a way like to quickly connect with someone and to put them at ease and say, we're going to have a super fun 5 minutes. Like, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this.
Yeah. Do you connect with them like through personal stories at all? Like, do you ask them about themselves, or do you just?
Sometimes, honestly, everyone is so different. And I really just try to hone in on what their energy is, where they are. is that going to drain them? You know, I asked myself, like, is this going to drain them? Is this going to give them energy? What do they need right now? Sometimes I'll start and I'll be like, what can I get you to drink? Like, let's carve out a little moment just for us. And sometimes I feel like if their energy is already draining, I will pop them right into the scene and then I'll start trying to make them comfortable.
Okay. That's interesting. Again, very intuitive. I guess I hadn't really thought about that for photographers as much. Like, it is as much soft skills as much as it is a technical skill of
fully
making people feel good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a full-on therapist.
Do you ever give them tequila?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like that
a lot. I actually have a lot of tequila here and champagne for that reason.
It's gonna, like, when we almost showed up with champagne today, but we have so much to do the rest of the day. We knew that we would have to take a big old nap after that. But
I know. It put me to sleep.
Yeah, I think a little margarita or a shot of tequila might make me feel better before a big photo shoot.
For sure. It can do wonders for people.
Now, are you comfortable in front of the camera? I know you were a little nervous today. Okay.
My God, I'm the worst. And it's so funny because I should be better at it. It's something I actually really want to work on.
Okay.
Because I do feel that's another thing. Like, I'm so good at not so good, but better at sharing my work, you know?
Yeah.
But I think you connect more with people as I grow the education side of the business by sharing me and my story. So I actually have a photo shoot planned soon with my good friend who's a photographer here. Her name is Katie Jameson. She's incredible. You would love her. She's super, super talented. And so she's going to come here and shoot me in the space. And I'm like, I have to like mentally prepare for that.
Yeah. Befriend the fear, take a shot of tequila, and then go ahead.
I know you're here. We're going to do this.
Yeah, because it is hard, but it is one of those things where, like, even starting my own podcast was really helpful because it showed me the different feelings of how to be on camera, how to record, like the things that a host would be thinking, and not just teaching on it necessarily. And so, like, I teach people how to host podcasts, but also produce them. So it's kind of both sides of it. But it wasn't until I was more in front of the camera that I feel like my coaching and teaching style changed, because I can be like, hey, you're about to do this. It's going to feel like this.
Yes.
So if you're feeling this sandpapery way, know that that's not a sign that it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's just a sign that you have to get on the other side of it. And you'll probably feel this on episode number 4, but by episode 6, we're going to be rolling and you're going to like tell the difference. And so I can totally see how that would make a difference and an impact for you guys too. Yeah. Tell me about your daughter. Is she into girly things too? Does she like to do photo shoots at all, or is she more shy?
Yes, she has recently started to pick up my camera, and I'm trying to be really chill about it because it makes me so excited. I'm like, oh my God. And you know, if you make it too big of a deal, then they're like, ugh, no. Not interested. Yeah. So I'm like trying to play it really cool. She definitely has an interest in it, and she will pose me right now, which I find like just absolutely mind-blowing. It makes me want to sob because I'm like, you're so brilliant. Look at you.
How old is she now?
She's 6. Okay. So she's in kindergarten. And yeah, she is into photography. She's into nature. She wants to be outside, climbing trees, bare feet, running in the stream, finding rocks, picking up shells. Like, she's super outdoorsy, which I love because we share that together.
Yeah. My girl, Cherie, was on previously. She's a celebrity wardrobe stylist, but there's something like you guys have like kind of a similar air to you guys. But her daughter is Cherie's daughter around 6 also. At first did not want anything to do with clothes, didn't want anything to do with fashion. She's starting to come around now, and Cherie kind of said the same thing. She was like, I'm trying not to get my hopes up.
I know.
But she's like, I just want to share in this with her. And it's fun, like when you are that passionate about something and then you have like a little mini best friend to walk around with you and do those things with you.
I hope she loves it, but I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's hers. I'm here as her guide in life.
Yeah.
And like whatever she wants to be or do, I literally think everything she does is amazing, and it makes me cry. So like, if we connect on that, great. If we don't, there's something else. It'll be beautiful.
Yeah. So walk me through, as we start to kind of wrap this up, like walk me through a normal day for you right now that, like, well, I'm here on a Friday, so there's no shoots going on. But if you had like a photo shoot or something lined up, like walk me through a normal day in your life right now.
Photo shoot days are long, very long, usually like 12 hours.
Oh, very, very long.
Very long, yeah. So
is the talent on site with you for 12 hours?
No, not usually. Okay. So usually the team and I, you know, for like a typical shoot, they'll come here either the day before and they'll start doing their prep. If there's a lot of food, they'll prep as far as they can in the food.
Okay.
I will be here prepping the studio, prepping my equipment. And then the next day we'll start pretty early in the morning, probably like 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll meet here.
Wow.
If there's talent, the talent will come maybe an hour or two before we start shooting them. We'll try to make their experience a lot lighter than what ours is. You know, we want them to feel comfortable and we want them to have enough energy to feel like they can participate in the day because it's a long day.
It's a long day.
You know? So they'll come, we'll do their shoot, we'll try to make it fun, we'll break for lunch, you know? And usually the days are so packed. Like we have literally a minute-to-minute schedule.
Wow.
It's extremely organized.
Okay.
You know, like we know exactly how much time we have for each shot.
Wow, I didn't realize.
What next steps are to move. Yeah, because it's an expensive day for clients because there's a lot of crew here. There's assistants. There's a digital tech, which is somebody who runs the computer and the lights. There's a food stylist, a food styling assistant, a photo assistant, you know, like maybe a producer. There's a lot of people. So it can be expensive to pay for all those people. So we try to accomplish as much as we can. And I think there's so much actually creativity and like, that's a big part of my job is people come to me and they have this huge wish list and I'm like, okay, well, how do I make this efficient for you, but also deliver like a really high quality level of work? So oftentimes I just have to like be really flexible with scope for them. So then we'll shoot all day and then, you know, clean everything up. I mean, it's a ton of work, you know, clean everything up and then pack out and go home. Yeah.
That's a long day. After those, are you energized or are you like exhausted?
I'm super tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've been on and like running the creative part of my brain and the type A part of my brain all day that I literally just want to, you know, crash out and go to sleep.
I feel like I'm going to like take a little bits and pieces of our conversation and see how I can integrate them. Can you see me like doing that in my brain of like how I'm like going to be putting this into play moving forward too? Because I am switching a little bit less production, more education. I feel really passionate about that. I also feel like the industry is changing and there's not really anybody I feel like that's leading the way as far as, I don't want to say standards, but just like, hey, here's a best practice that you could easily do. Or that was also a big reason why I wanted to be able to shoot my own stuff is because I knew not everybody would be able to have a super nice camera or be able to book out a studio for their episodes. And so I have people write in all the time, like, what equipment are you using? Like, is it affordable? Can I replicate this? So I want what I'm doing to be replicated by other people as well. But it is one of those things where it's like, okay, well, what is that business shift now going to look like? Yeah. And so I feel like I'm like taking bits and pieces of what you're saying in our conversation. And I can like find the little categories where I'm going to start to implement them. So
good.
Thanks for being so generous in our conversation today. And I like to always wrap up these conversations with one question. Was there somebody that you feel like in your life that was impactful in your photography journey, that they had like a phrase or a saying that they were known for, that if you were to leave on a napkin for somebody, that you would write down a phrase or a saying from that person?
You know, I don't know if there's it's like too many people to name, to be honest, that have been impactful in this thing. But the one thing that I can say, I feel like that actually has been most impactful in my journey is this book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yes.
And I mean, essentially the message of the book, something I revisit, I want to say almost daily in my brain is, and this saying comes up for me when I bid a job that I really want and I don't get it. Or I am really feeling like I need to control my environment or, you know, reach out for stability. I tell myself this, and it is what is for you will be for you, you know? And like, it helps me just to sort of like let go and like know that like my path is there. I'm going to walk it. Nothing can get in the way of that, you know? And so I think that book has really helped me a ton. Okay. In addition to like 80 people, you know?
I mean, I have a therapist, a life coach, business coach, Amy. My mom is probably all three of those put together in one. I'm always calling her about stuff. And I just think like, I've learned in this season of life, community is more important than I even realized. Like it takes so many people to keep us going. And so Ashleigh, thank you so much for your time. This has been such a delight. I know I'm going to take so many personal things away from this, but where can people find you and follow up with you after today's conversation?
I am Ashleigh Amoroso on my Instagram, ashleighlamoroso.com on my website. Instagram is probably the place I'm most active. Yeah. So that'd be the best place to find me.
You guys go follow her. Go look at all of the beautiful creations that she's doing in her photography. I have just loved learning more about your journey. Thank you so much for being on Napkin Notes today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.